Thunder Bay taxi companies were given an opportunity today to voice some of their frustrations. It came at another meeting of the Police Services Board Taxi Subcommittee. That committee's been tasked with examining a variety of changes that are being proposed for taxi company governance. Courtney Rutherford reports.
The people sitting around this table are all providing feedback when it comes to the number of issues that have been brought to the attention of the Thunder Bay Police Services Board. Complaints about cost and the level of efficiency when it comes to the city's taxi cab services were just some of the topics up for discussion. However, the focus of today's meeting was to give cab operators a chance to voice their side of things. Although they declined to speak on camera, many of them say they are finding it difficult to both hire and retain drivers. Something City Councillor Brian McKinnon says he never realized.
Well, interestingly, licensing was very important to them. How they get licenses. To be quite honest, I wasn't aware that each taxi driver had to have his or her own business license. That was new to me. So this was a big learning curve for me, that part.
McKinnon says people getting impatient waiting for cabs is another major issue. All of the three companies at the meeting say more often than not they will arrive at their pickup only to find that person has already left. It's become a costly trend where people will put a call into all companies and grab the first taxi that turns up.
That's pretty scary when you start thinking they send 2 or 3 cabs out that way and there's only going to be one fare. That's costly to those companies. So those kinds of things were pretty eye-opening for me.
The Police Services Board is looking at flipping responsibility for overseeing the city's taxi industry to the Bylaw Enforcement Department. That will be included in the report that is presented to the board February 18th. Courtney Rutherford, TBT News.
It looks like we will never know what sparked a fire yesterday that completely destroyed a Northside home. Fire crews were called to Fitzgerald Street yesterday afternoon after a neighbor spotted heavy smoke and flames shooting from the building. The blaze eventually spread through the entire structure and ate through the roof. There was no one in the residence at the time as it was under renovation. A fire service spokesperson says damage is so extensive they are unable to determine the cause.
City Council has been presented with a plan that would change the way garbage and recycling is collected in Thunder Bay. The idea would increase waste diversion and recycling. It would also extend the life of the landfill. But as Dennis Ward reports, it comes with a hefty price tag.
Improving recycling in Thunder Bay was a big topic at public meetings on the solid waste management strategy. Stantec Consulting, the team putting together the plan, have ideas to increase the amount we recycle, but parts of it are costly. The new changes, if implemented, could double the city's waste diversion rate and could extend the life of the landfill by more than a decade.
We talk about things like weekly recycling or frequent recycling collection, about containers of the type that people in the community want to use, about increasing the numbered plastics. So you add all those initiatives up together and that starts to get you to those higher diversion targets, which then brings you in line with other municipal performance.
The 20-year strategy has a price tag between $10 and $15 million and could include a retrofitted recycling facility or a new regional site in Thunder Bay. The plan and ways to pay for it will come back to Council in April. Council has also asked for city staff to reach out to the Terry Fox Foundation about the potential of housing and displaying memorabilia in Thunder Bay the family has collected.
I think that we should investigate it and at least get an answer for ourselves. We certainly owe it not only to the community but to the Fox family and Terry's memory.
And once again, the public art component of a renovation project at the Thunder Bay Transit headquarters came up. The $80,000 cost has bothered some on council, but Mayor Keith Hobbs felt the area of the city needs a facelift.
Because it is one of the most horrific streets, I think, that we have in the city. For any tourist to be driving down Fort William Road to our beautiful waterfront that's been fixed up, I shake my head every time I drive down Fort William Road and look at the ugliness. So I think this is a good start.
Some on council have asked to see the artist's rendering before the project moves ahead. Dennis Ward, TBT News.
The public will get another chance tonight to weigh in on the future of the Fort William Gardens. Keeping it the way it is, taking it down, or changing uses are all options on the table. This is the second and final public meeting before consultants finalize their report for council. Many who took part in the first session felt the discussion was premature given no decision has been made on moving forward with a new event center. Current users of the gardens were also concerned about where they'll play and practice in the future if the 60-year-old facility is demolished. Tonight's meeting is just getting underway at the gardens and kicks off with the tour of the building. We'll have more on the late edition.
The Canada Games Complex has sectioned off portions of the pool and installed pads following an incident during the Thunderbolts swim meet warm-up last weekend. A young member of the team was injured when she came into contact with a divider or bulkhead in the pool. The pool was cleared following the incident and the girl taken to hospital. She's received medical attention and is recovering at home. The dividers had been given a new skin in June, which the supervisor of aquatics and wellness, Donna Sipola, says were rougher than the old skin.
There was a gap in between the skins of the bulkhead, so the skins are on the face of the bulkhead, and that's where the injury occurred, was in that gap. And so in the interim, what we have done is taken precautions in putting timing pads over top of those gaps to prevent any other further injury. And we've also buoyed off areas of the facility so that people don't have access to the parts that aren't covered yet.
Sipola says the facility has launched an investigation and will be working with the manufacturer to permanently fix the problem.
The so-called open bar policy for Canadian Lakehead Exhibition Board members will remain unchanged. That policy has been a source of controversy since former board member Linda Gamby raised concerns last year over possible liability implications. The debate eventually led to Gamby's dismissal from the organization. At the CLE's annual general meeting last month, concerns from the membership led to a commitment to review the policy. Now, board chair Danny Moza says a decision has been reached to leave the policy unchanged. While he declined to be interviewed on camera, Moza says members only access the bar for a social drink at the conclusion of their meetings, and there has never been any abuse of the privilege. He also says all board members are fully aware of potential liability implications and have always acted responsibly. Moza says they have also been assured by their insurer that they have sufficient coverage should any liability issues arise.
The provincial ombudsman says he'll be investigating Hydro One after an increasing number of complaints about the utility. Andre Marin says his office has been stymied as he tried to get to the bottom of serious problems with billing and customer service at the government-owned transmission giant. He says many customers have complained about bills that are wrong, excessive, duplicated, delayed, or based on unclear criteria. Marin says complaints about the giant utility have more than doubled since 2011-12.
Does your family have a fire safety plan? It's important that you do. That was one lesson learned by grade 4 students at Westmount Public School today. Thunder Bay Fire Rescue, T-Baytel, and the Lakehead University Thunderwolves teamed up to talk to kids about fire safety. LU hockey players Luke Maw and Jay Gilbert joined firefighter Anthony Stokaluk at the Southside Elementary School. The students were given 2 pieces of homework to find out what their smoke alarms sound like and to identify 2 escape routes out of the home in the event of a fire.
We're always promoting safety, of course, at the school, but it's to bring that message home and to reinforce it. Of course, with our young ones, they share that message at home. As the 2 pieces of homework show, they're working on their alarms tonight as well as fire safety plans, so it carries that discussion back into the home.
These kids hopefully can go home and ask mom and dad what kind of their smoke alarms sound like and get these escape plans because, you know, like we said in the presentation, it's kind of preventative measures, right, to stop situations from happening before they even do. And you know, hopefully these kids do take something out of it and go home and start asking some questions and just be aware of, you know, how serious these kind of things are.
The kids left with more than just homework, however. They also received some brand new Thunderwolves hockey cards signed by the players.